Hello again, ACAC family. This is Pastor Ross, one of the administrative pastors here at ACAC, and I'm sitting again with Pastor Stanko. So, Pastor Stanko, we are in our 4th week of our faith campaign, a very exciting time. What message would you have to people about your excitement and what they can continue to do to contribute to this faith campaign?
It really is exciting. It's like an election. You're waiting to see what are the final results, and a little bit of tension and good tension to see what the Lord is going to do. So this is a big week. It's not the final week. People may join the church, people may pledge later, but we're really asking those who have been a part of these presentations, who have been a part of the church family. We need some closure. We need some certainty, and people may be asking why. Well, there's a lot of financial decisions that have to be made. The building design, the cost of it, borrowing money, not borrowing money, cash flow. All these are considerations for a project this large. So we really do need as much as from as many as possible to hear from them this week, if they haven't already made a decision as to what they believe in faith they will be able to contribute towards the campaign. We're not trying to present pressure, yet there's calendar pressures, there's timeline pressures. And the sooner we can get all this resolved, the sooner we can finalize the design and start digging a hole and get it done so we can move the children across the street and figure out all the other ministry implications for what we're doing. So if someone hasn't submitted something, we really would hope that they would feel comfortable. And if there's any way we can help them feel comfortable this week by answering questions, praying with them, we'll be glad to do so.
Hey, during last week's discussion, you made a very interesting point that resonated with me for this entire week. You stated that the opposite of faith is actually fear. That was a concept I've never heard before. Can you please elaborate on that?
Well, fear is our great enemy. When Adam and Eve fell, they tried to hide in the bush, and they did it for 2 reasons. They were ashamed that they were naked, and they were fearful that the Lord was coming. And so we're their children. So fear grooves us, but we rationalize it. We learn to live with it. It makes sense for us when we present all the reasons of why we're not doing that. The Lord wouldn't want me to make a commitment I can't keep. God will want me to be responsible with my bills. All those are true, but we're talking about a faith commitment that in many ways God has to provide over and above what we already have in order to make it. And so the fear of, I had somebody approach me, I don't want to put down a wrong figure. I said, well, you pray, you do your best, and then you trust the Lord. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? The money doesn't come in. What's the best that can happen? The money comes in, and you have a testimony where I didn't see what God was going to do. My family and I, my children and I prayed, and wow, this unexpected happened. This bonus came, and we were able to meet our faith commitment. And we go back to Pastor Rock's message of June 3rd, where we want to be on the right side of giving. We're not doing it out of pressure. We're doing it out of joy, out of faith, out of a response to God's grace. I've heard many people over the years say, I can do all things through Christ. And then I say, well, what are you doing? Well, I can do it. That doesn't mean I will, unless I really have to. No, this is an opportunity where we can grab hold of the strength that God gives us and exercise our faith on behalf of a corporate project that our leadership has presented to us that will not only benefit the church, but benefits us individually and as families. Because again, we have the testimony, and as Paul said in Philippians 4, we have credit that is put in our account with God because of the gift that we have given. People say, well, you're trying to buy favor with God. No, but the scripture is pretty clear that when you do something that pleases God, there is a resulting favor. It's with our own children. If they do something out of their free will that is unexpected, that is consistent with what we've taught them, we're blessed. We have this sense of joy and enhanced love. And that's really what we're trying to produce here, an environment, not only you got to give, but you get to give. And it's an opportunity that none of us really want to miss.
Right. No, that's a very good point. But we do know that there are people who have limited means in our congregation.
Sure.
What would you say to someone, maybe a widow, who has been already apprehensive about giving, and now we're asking her to step out on faith and to give above and beyond what she's already giving? How do you coach someone like that into stepping out on faith and giving?
Well, I think, first of all, I encourage them to do something. It's not about the amount. It's for someone, a $25 a month commitment is a big deal. You don't look at the amount. You look at your circumstances and what you can see yourself doing. Now, if that person said $10,000 a month, that's ridiculous. But within their sphere, within their means, if they look at $25 or $35 a month as something that I can see that, I just don't know how I would get it, then I would encourage them to go with that. I don't think God's not saying, how dare you, pledge that. I think he would be pleased that someone who's on a fixed income would believe for just a little extra revenue. And very often when I've been in these situations where I didn't think I had anything to give, my prayer wasn't, show me what I had to give. My prayer was always, Pastor Ross, God, open my eyes to what I'm not seeing. And that's when I've thought about my silver dollar collection, or that's when I thought about something I could do that would produce a little extra revenue, or some situation, a garage sale. I'm sitting on something that somebody would want that I'm not using, that God opens my eyes to see that the resources I'm seeking Him for are already there. I read a story once of a men's home that was praying for resources, and as the director was looking out the window, he noticed the men picking up things off the ground, doing something with their hands and eating them. And the story is that they were in the midst of a pecan orchard. He didn't even think about it, but the pecans falling on the roof of the building were the provision financially for the need that they had in the men's home. And so they harvested all the pecans, and they had exactly the amount of money that they had been praying for. That's what I hope people will do. Not just, what can I give or what can I cut back? God, open my eyes to see the possibilities, and then partner with God and watch it happen.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Sometimes we find out that God already made provisions for us. We just haven't realized those yet.
So true.
Excellent. So what would we tell the folks who are still praying during this initial month of our pledge, of our pledging?
Well,
do they still have opportunity to give?
Oh yeah. It's not a hard and fast deadline. However, we do need to know where we stand. So I would encourage you to make your best faith guesstimate of what you think you could do. Put it in, trust the Lord, and together, let's see what God does.
And finally, you have mentioned before that exercising faith is not an event, it's a lifestyle. During this campaign, during the 3 years, should we continue to pray about what we should give and just continue to seek the Lord on what our contribution is?
Oh yes, my wife and I are always thinking, we put our amount in, but we're thinking, how can we do more? Where can we do more? And so this is a flowing campaign. This is an organic campaign. And so we're going to do everything we can to keep these issues before the people, and continue to teach on faith, to update on where we are, and to engage people on the right side of giving, so that this can really be a joyous, joyous time, a time of learning and growing for all of our people.
Excellent. Pastor Stanko, as always, we appreciate your input and your feedback.
Thank you, Pastor Ross.
Thank you.